So, okay, so let's talk about that now. So you are a pastor.
I am.
Let's talk about that. Where do you pastor at in New Jersey?
So I pastor in Newark at Bethlehem Baptist Church.
Okay.
My predecessor was a teacher who left teaching and became a pastor.
Okay.
He also went to Morehouse. I met him before he unfortunately passed away while he was still pastor of the church.
Oh, wow. Sorry.
And, we had developed a relationship. But yes, I now pastor the church. It's a good thing to have known him.
All right.
Because knowing him helped me to have good relationships with many of the people who
Right.
he pastored, some of whom from their childhood.
So let me ask you a question. Is this like a thing? Brothers from Morehouse going into a career, then becoming pastors, or is this something that happened to your predecessor and yourself?
I think it's just something that happened to
Oh,
us.
okay.
And, to be honest with you, the Morehouse was founded to teach formerly enslaved African Americans
Right.
The preaching and teaching, I would say, when I used to give tours on campus.
Okay.
Education and religion.
Awesome.
And so there is a very strong tradition of Morehouse preachers.
Oh, okay.
Just pastors, just in general.
Good point. Thanks.
Reverend Dr. Senator Raphael Warnock was a couple of years ahead of me, but he was a preacher,
Yeah.
and he was very clear about what was happening in his life, academically and professionally.
Right.
Mike Walron at First Corinthian was a classmate of mine.
Okay.
As was Jamal Bryant. Otis Moss III was a couple years ahead of me.
Okay.
So there was a strong tradition of preachers. Of course, Martin Luther King Jr. and Martin Luther King Sr., both of whom were Morehouse men who became pastors. I think I just was not paying attention, and for me, it was later than earlier. But my thing now is, I'm still a real estate professional.
Okay.
And I just live in both of those worlds,
Yeah.
in those domains. At some points in time, especially when I was a student, it was maddening.
I can imagine.
And maybe sometimes I didn't do either one as well as I probably could have if I were focused solely on one or the other. But this is the path that I'm on.
Yes,
and
sir.
God knows who I am, what I am, and which way I'm going. So until God says stop, I'm going to do both of these things, because this is just who I am. And I'm not the only one. There are plenty of people who do this.
Okay.
I've got friends in New Jersey, in the city of Newark, who are doing board members, government leaders, teachers, principals, and pastors.
Right. Right.
And I pastor a small local church. We're not huge. We don't aspire to be huge. We just aspire to be obedient. And whatever it is that happens as a function of that is what happens. And as long as I'm able, I can do both. And I find it refreshing sometimes to be able to be in both of those worlds. Because, a lot of people leave ministry every month. A lot of pastors leave ministry every month. And, I've got something else. I've had barbers who said, listen, I've traveled and I brought my tools with me and I could tighten somebody up while I'm away.
Right.
I got a bag of tools that I could take. I could open up my own shop. I could work with other folks. If this thing didn't work out like I wanted to, or maybe that's just the next progression. But for right now, it works for me. It works for them. And I love it to be able to have, yesterday, I know I got to preach Sunday. I got to prepare a sermon. I've got other things that are going on. Other things that are happening in our church life and our community life as we try to become a better community partner to those around us. And I wanted to get on that, but I spent the whole morning working on surveys because I'm working on this deal, and I'm excited about this deal.
Yeah.
And I think having something else has made me even more excited about what I'm doing.
That's a good point, man. That's a good point.
And I'm looking forward to, just every new day.
All right, let's let this pause. Let the interview breathe a little bit, man. You just dropped a heavy bar. Just the fact that, yeah, you're right. You have something else to look forward to. So you're just pretty much going back and forth, and you're helping people, not just in the community, but also in your job.